A very good morning to all the students of class 5. My name is Prerna and I'm your English teacher. And today from your English book Skyline, we are going to be reading chapter number 5. And this chapter is about a king and a queen. So let us study this chapter to find out where this king and queen belonged to. All right, so here we go. This is your chapter number 5 and the name of the chapter is Who Will Be NINGTHOU. Now NINGTHOU in Manipur refers to a king. So when we talk about a king, there are certain qualities that we think of. Let's say a king should think about his subjects. A king should be caring towards his subjects. A king should be very brave. So let us read the story to find out that this king of Manipur, he was looking for a new king for the kingdom. So what all qualities made a particular person as the new king of the region? Long ago, in the land of Kanglipak in Manipur, there lived a NINGTHOU and a Lima. So NINGTHOU refers to the king in Manipur and Lima refers to the queen in Manipur. The NINGTHOU and Lima, on their part, never stopped thinking about their Miyam, their people. So Miyam refers to the people. Our Miyam should be happy, they said. The people were not only the ones who loved their NINGTHOU and Lima. The birds and animals too loved them. The NINGTHOU and Lima always said, everybody in Kanglipak should live in peace. Not only the people, but the birds, animals, and trees. So, such kind-hearted were the king and the queen of Manipur, of this area called Kanglipak in Manipur. Such kind-hearted were the king and the queen. King in Manipur is called as NINGTHOU and queen is called as Lima. So they said not just the people, but even the animals, the birds, the trees, even they should be happy. Their beloved king and queen had 3 sons, Sanjaoba, Saniyama, and Sanatomba. So these were the name of the 3 sons that the king and queen had. 12 years later, a daughter was born. She was named Sanatombe. She was a lovely child, soft and beautiful inside. She was loved by one and all. So this youngest child that the king and the queen had, her name was Sanatombe, and she was also very kind-hearted, just like her parents. The years went by and the children grew up well. And then one day the NINGTHOU called all his ministers and said, it is time to decide the Tangi NINGTHOU, that is the future king. Now the king, he said, now we need to decide who will take over my throne. The ministers were shocked. But oh NINGTHOU, what is there to decide? Sanjoba, your eldest son, will be our future king. Well, the NINGTHOU replied. So the king replied, said something to what the ministers said. So this is what the reply that was given by NINGTHOU. That's how it happened in the old days. The eldest son always became the king. But times have changed. So let us select a king who is the most worthy of becoming a king. So now NINGTHOU had a different thought process. He said that for so many years, the trend has been that whoever is the eldest son will become the king. But that trend should not continue in our kingdom. Someone who is worthy, someone who is the most deserving of all the 3 children, of all the 3 sons, that child or that son of mine should become the king. We will have a contest to select the future king. the Lima said. So the queen said, so she agreed to what Ningdo said, and she said that in order to select or to find out who's most appropriate, who's the most deserving to be a king of Kanglipak, let us have a competition. And so in the land of Kanglipak, there was a contest, a horse race. Whoever reached the Kongdang, that is the banyan tree. So whoever reached the banyan tree first would be declared Tungi Ningdo, that is the future king. But then a strange thing happened. Sanjoba, Sanyama, and Santoba, all three of them finished the race together. They were expert riders, and all three reached the finish line at the same time. Now, the competition which was decided, the three sons, they secured equal position in that race. So what happened next? How was the king decided? There was great excitement. Look at them. The people shouted, Shagol Taubanuba, such fine horsemen. But one question remained. Who would be the Tungi Ningdo? The Ningdo and Lima turned to their sons. So now the king and the queen, they looked at their sons. The Ningdo said, Sanjoba, Sanyama, and Santoba, you have proved that you are fine horsemen. Do something different, each one of you, so that we can decide who will be Tungi Ningdo. So now the king, he said to his three sons that all of you represent a skill in which you are an expert in. So each one of you need to present a different skill. No, I mean, all of you cannot present the same skill. You have to present a different a skill in which you feel only you are an expert in. Suddenly, Sanjoba mounted his horse and held his spear straight in front of him. He looked around. There was a hush among people. What is Sanjoba, the eldest, going to do? They thought to themselves. So now Sanjoba, he got onto his horse, and this. So you understand what is a spear? It is a it is a weapon which is used for hunting. So it's a long rod with a pointed end. And then, so now there was the people started talking among themselves. So there was excitement, there was confusion, a lot of mixed feelings among people as to what was going to happen. Sanjoba then looked at the huge Kongdang, that is the banyan tree, remember, standing majestically in the distance. He pierced the tree and jumped his horse right through it. So Sanjoba, he took his spear, he shot at the banyan tree. It it moved into half, and so Sanjoba, he jumped his horse right through it. Bravo, bravo, the people shouted, and they fell silent. Now it was the turn of second son, Sanyama. What would he do? Sanyama too looked at the Kongdang, that is the banyan tree, as he mounted his horse. Then he too rode towards the tree harder and harder. The people watched in silence, afraid even to breathe. When he was really close, he urged his horse to jump. Higher and higher the horse rose until horse and the rider jumped clear over the huge tree and landed on the other side in a wonderful motion. So now the second son, Sanyama, he also mounted his horse, and he was able to cross that banyan tree. The people breathed in relief and said in unison. Unison means together. Faje, Faje, that means wonderful, wonderful. And now it was the turn of the youngest son, Santoba. He too rode his horse towards the Kongnan, and before anybody knew what was happening, uprooted it. So now the third son, that is Santoba. Uprooted means he pulled out the banyan tree from its roots. Triumphantly, he carried the tree to Ningdo and Lima and laid at their feet. And again, there were shouts of victory, of appreciation that filled the mountains. The people grew restless. Why were the Ningdo and Lima taking so much time to make the announcement? So now Ningdo and Lima, they were a little speechless to announce as to who should be the king. And triumphantly means victoriously, that feeling that I'm victorious. They craned their necks to see what was happening. The Ningdo and Lima were watching Santombe, their 5-year-old daughter. She looked sad and lonely. She stared at the Kongnang, which lay dead by the throne. So now the daughter, Santombi, she was looking at the banyan tree, which was pulled out from its root and kept near the king's throne. Birds flapped worriedly around, searching for their homes in the tree. Sanatombi walked up to the Kongnang and whispered, the Kongnang is dead. It was hurt by the spear and now it is dead. So this little girl, she realized, she felt that pain, that because a tree is destroyed, so many birds have lost their home. The people were all attention. So suddenly, everyone started looking at this young girl. The Ningdo stood up. He looked at the 3 boys. He looked at the little girl. He turned to the people. And what did Ningdo say? If anybody is worthy of becoming the ruler, he said, it is little Sanatombi. It was she who told us to look at the soul of the Kongnang. Sanatombi feels the pain of others. She feels the pain of people, animal, birds, and the trees. I declared Sanatombi the future Lima of Kanglipak. The Ningdo said. A silence fell. So, because Sanatombi had the qualities that her parents had about feeling the pain of birds, not just the humans, but the birds, animals, and trees also, and ensuring their happiness also, it was declared that Sanatombi would be the queen of Kanglipak in Manipur. A silence fell, so everyone was quiet. Everyone turned to look at the little girl, their future queen. There she stood, all of 5, like a small Kongnang, with birds flying all around her. You can see this little girl playing with the birds that were there on the banyan tree. They sat on her shoulders and on her head. She held out her hands full of grain, and the birds flapped about her, pecking at the food. So the when the birds, they come with a lot of speed, so the sound that they produce with their wings is flapping. So the birds came using their wings, and they were pecking at the food. So when the birds, they use their beak to pick up something or to bite something, that is called as pecking. A lima is one who doesn't hurt anyone in the kingdom. So I'm sure you all really liked this beautiful story. And always remember, just like this king, if you ever get an opportunity to be your class monitor or to be your school captain, to be the head boy or the head girl, remember, you must possess this quality of being kind-hearted, not just towards the human beings, but also towards various elements of nature. The main quality of a good leader is that he or she is compassionate towards everyone and everything. Thank you so much.